We can start now. Well, welcome
Yeah.
back. This is Harrison and Han. It's your girl Jamie.
I'm Joshua.
Okay, so today's episode, we are talking about friends. How many of us have them? Really talking about how do you define true friendship?
Yep.
Um, Joshua, how would you define true friendship?
No, no, no. I told you you were leading, so you're gonna ask that. You're gonna answer your own question.
Hmm. Define true friendship. I mean, for me, I know that a lot of times it people kind of base their true friendship when it comes to how long they've known a person, because
Mm-hmm.
it comes from like, oh, I've known this person so long, since we were kids, X, Y, and
Mm-hmm.
Z. And then it just kind of branched out to like, well, because we've had this history together and we've had these experiences together,
Mm-hmm.
they've automatically been grandfathered into my life as this person of friendship or importance. But I think, um, and so sometimes people get horse blinded, put their horse blinders on to like certain things that they need to be paying attention to, um, that can easily be disqualifiers,
Mm-hmm.
and should kind of disqualify people to being friends. So I think for me, friendship is integrity. It is flexibility. It is honesty. It is transparency. For me, there really isn't any difference between a friendship is a relationship outside of sex, taking the sex factor out of it. Um, there needs to be the same energy that you would put into any other relationship into a friendship, because we both, as we get older, we put our own life and we have our own responsibilities and other things, so we have to be putting the same energy into this relationship, that we want to grow and we want to be strong and powerful and mean something. So I just think that a friendship should be, poured into as to any other relationship that you have in your life.
Great answer. Great answer. Um, Friendship means something totally different to me. I just feel like they're established on similarities and
Okay.
they're tested in adversity. So when adversity hits, so I just feel like you know, and a lot of it is proximity due to the neighborhood you grew up in or the schools you went to. So those kind of you foster those relationships, and throughout the years you kind of nurture them. And as you get older, interests change, and people fall into different crowds.
Yeah.
For those long time friends, those friends that you've had since you've been a kid, some of them they have different a little. The rules are a little different sometimes. So
Yeah.
you give a lot of slack and a lot of leeway to a lot of people that you've known since you've had, since you've been in diapers and four T's and and up and stuff like that, and going through puberty with stuff like that. So that's just for me. But other than that, I'm really not um, big on friends, like or friendships. I'm more a relational type of person. So I like to build relationships with people. And I don't know if I don't call everybody my friend because that's a very like near and dear title. So I just, I
So
have
what's the difference?
acquaintances. There's a big difference. If you know where I
Explain.
live, you know where I live. My wife. Like certain things. My mom. Like like stuff like that. I wouldn't like somebody I met out and about wouldn't know who mom is or like
So that's what I'm
things
saying.
like
Like,
that.
so what's the difference between a friendship and a relationship for you? Is it the
Oh,
information that
yes, of
you
course. It's
that they are
access.
privy to,
It's
or
access. It's just access.
okay?
It's a certain level of access, a certain level of intimacy. It's like so a person wouldn't um a relationship like someone that I just met or someone that I'm fostering a relationship with, they probably wouldn't know even my birthday, like something like that. So I wouldn't, even think like to be like, oh, do you want to come to my birthday? You know what I mean? Or like, do you want to go on a trip? I wouldn't go on a trip with someone I just met. Like, you get what I'm saying? It'd be kind of weird. Stuff like that. So I feel like a friendship is someone where you can have that certain level of intimacy with. And you can like do things with, but I do feel like as you get older, you have to redefine those friendships because as I said, the interest has changed. Like, like I didn't eat as much vegetables when I was younger. Now I love vegetables, like stuff like that. But it's the same thing. Like, so I don't do the same things that I did when I was younger. So I just feel like those relationships have to be, or those friendships have to be redefined, and there have to be new parameters surrounding those. So I feel like that's why a lot of people who I did have close friendships with, I it's not as close now because I don't have the same interests. So I feel we don't have the same similarities, which the basis or the premises of which this friendship was built on. So until we redefine those things and figure out how we can realign, I think it'll be a strain on it. But at the end of the day, if you're really my friend, it doesn't matter if I'm playing hockey or if I'm, or if I'm selling hot dogs. You know what I mean? It shouldn't matter what I'm doing. You should be in support of what I'm doing. But at that point, I understand as we get older, people have kids and start fostering other relationships, start building out their legacy or whatever. So I don't sweat it.
I get it. I don't know when it comes to I hear what you're saying when it comes to like, when people say that, if you're my friend, it shouldn't matter what I'm doing, you should support me. On one hand, I can agree with that, but then on another hand, like you were saying, people get older, people have their own responsibilities. Again, it's still a relationship. That person should be able to come to that person and understand, like, just like you want me to understand that, yes, I am your friend, you understand that I
Mm-hmm.
have other responsibilities. It's
Mm-hmm.
still a conversation. We still have to talk. We still got to, things are ever changing. It
Yeah.
still needs work. We still need to communicate.
Oh,
Just
for
like
sure.
it still needs effort. And I don't think people think about that. People think like things are still supposed to be the same. And I still get this ticket or this ground um of what is this ticket of immunity or whatever it is, like you should,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I should get this free pass and you should just
Yeah.
understand. It's like, no,
Yeah.
like things change as I get older, and there needs to be, you still need to come, we still need to come to the round table and have a conversation, you know
No. Yeah. I think the
and I don't think
conversation.
people do that.
Uh, I tend to do it a lot more often. I don't have a
Mhm.
problem with it, because I feel like any real friendship should be tested, and it should have that space where you can actually ask questions that matter. I feel like a lot of people shy away from that, and that's why their relationships are very surface level.
That's very true.
Yeah,
I've had a couple of those situations where, friendships get tested and, they dissipate.
yeah,
And
for
and
sure,
and
for
you
sure.
you really have to sit back and be like, wow, I really thought that was a strong bond.
Hmm.
And it's sad that friendship or that relationship kind of dissipated because me personally, I really didn't want it to end. I wish it could have been longer. I wish it could have been stronger. I wish we could have talked and worked it out and all this other things, but it really was sad. I really do wish people could, that flexibility that people have a hindsight about when it comes to friendship. I really wish they could start exercising that and come to the table and really understand that they need to have that when it comes to friendship. Like,
I don't think it's
yeah.
flexibility. I think it's grace,
But
because people.
I think there needs to be flexibility when it comes to friendship. When it comes to that case of, I should be able to come to you and tell you when you fucking up if I'm
Yeah,
your friend, and you should
yeah,
be receptive of that and say like, okay, I can be. If you take it offensively, you should be able to come to me and say like, you know what,
yeah.
maybe I need to chill out, and maybe I'm taking it the wrong way, but I hear that you're coming from a loving place. If you're my friend,
Hmm. But you
maybe
got to, yeah. That's why a lot of times relationships or friendships are once like lopsided.
yeah,
Like there's a giver and a receiver, or
yeah,
a giver and a taker. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's rare that you guys are both givers, or you guys are like, you know what I mean, or it's reciprocated. Just the energy is reciprocated. So because it's just the premises of what like the relationship was kind of built on in the beginning. So
Like
uh,
if you got years, if you friendship for years, eventually that balances out. You can kind of see.
yeah, and
I can see when
that's
it's
where the
something
time
new.
comes. That's where the
I
times come in, and
That's what I'm saying.
that's why I feel like that's why it's so hard for a lot of people to let go of a lot of friendships, even when certain people are like, "That's a crappy friend," or "That's not your friend," or like, you know what I mean. So that's why it's so hard, because there have been certain instances where it was the shoe was on the other foot. You get what I'm saying? So it's just for sometimes it's like, oh, okay, well, if that was me, people love to say, if that was me, I wouldn't deal with that. But it's just like, I get it. But at the same time, you wasn't with us shooting in the gym. You know what I'm saying?
No, I think it's a little bit more than that. I just think it's I think people, it's just like a new relationship. Why people stay in
Yeah.
certain relationships. Nobody wants to start over.
No,
Nobody wants to start over and
I
put
think
the
a
work
friendship's a
in.
little different. I think the
It's
friendship's a little
I think
different.
it's I think me personally, I just think it's nobody wants to start over and have to learn somebody over again and have to go through those experiences again and have to trust somebody again and have to do those first time experiences again and have to go through those what's your favorite this and what's your favorite that and what's your this and what's your
I've
that.
never done that.
But I'm
I've
just
never.
saying, I'm just saying, nobody wants to have to go through that when, and it's
Yeah.
just like, I've been with this person for 10 years.
Are you
Like,
talking about like a relationship, or are you talking about a friendship
a
now at this
friendship
point?
in general,
Okay,
like
for sure.
any type of relationship in general. It's like
Yeah.
when I can just, I'm comfortable with this. You can put that in
Okay.
any situation, a friendship or relationship. I'm comfortable with this. And why that's why people stay in certain situations, vice versa,
Mm-hmm.
want something
Mm-hmm.
new. And it's like I'd rather just go back to the same thing because I know what I'm going to get. I know what to expect, even though it's fucked up. I know what I'm getting.
Uh,
Vice going with something new and the unknown and a new pain. I already know what the old pain feels like, and I'm kind of adjusted and regulated with it, and I kind of can deal with it.
I've never been in a friendship like that where
Some
I felt.
some people are
Yeah.
just used. Some people are just used
I
to the
yeah
used to.
yeah
They're
yeah
just
yeah. Nah.
used to the used to.
I have
Unfortunately.
I have people I've grown up with, and we are not as tight as we used to be, and I have no problem with that. I
But
just
I'm saying,
understand.
but I'm saying you've been with people that you're just used to the way that they are, and that's what I'm saying. They show
Um,
you the same person, and we have one in our family. They show you the same person, who they are, and it
yeah,
is what it is.
but I think that at that point, you learn to love a person differently, or you learn to tolerate a person like differently.
But
So,
that's what I'm saying.
but
Tolerating, even if that.
but still, it's not the same level. Like,
Instead of
um,
leaving them alone, you learn to tolerate. It's the same thing. You're still maintaining a relationship. You're still
mm,
maintaining access. You're still maintaining something. That's what I'm saying. Instead of just leaving it alone, disconnecting, you're still maintaining a
but at the same
relationship.
time, is dial up the same as high speed internet?
It's still internet. At the end of the day, it's still internet.
But you
It's
got to
still
ask
service.
yourself. You got to ask yourself that at the end of the day, though, if a person can clearly see that the level of access has changed, or the dynamic has changed, that is something that will warrant new behavior or change behavior. And I just feel like at the end of the day, I instead of dissolving a total situation of someone you actually care for, I think that just limiting the access will warrant the change, and that's why I beg to differ with that, because it's not you really like holding on or this, that, and the third, because some relationships just will always be.
Yeah, but
You know what I
it's
mean?
me limiting my access is for me. It's not for me to get them to trigger them to change their stuff.
It kind of is though.
No, I can verbally say that, and now the ball is in their court. For me to limit my access, I've already made my decision. If I
Yeah,
can say
but
it in my mouth, if I say, "Hey, I don't like the way that you're treating me," right
but
then and there, I've already said my piece. And
yeah,
if
but if
they
the
don't
actions,
decide to change and respect what I'm saying and reciprocate what I'm saying, then me limiting my access is now for me to protect myself. I'm not trying to sell you the fact that now I'm trying to tell you and trick you into saying, or even sell you even more to change your ways. I've already verbally told you I don't like the way that this is happening. You should be respecting the fact that I'm verbally telling you I don't appreciate the way that this is happening. I shouldn't have to do anything extra. Me limiting my access is to protect myself now.
yeah, I get that, but at the same time, I still feel like setting a position, you distancing yourself and creating a new dynamic in some way or form does is a teachable moment, because that same person is going to question why certain things aren't happening.
again, but that again, I'm not there to teach them. Again, I'm not there to teach them. My teaching,
Sometimes you are though.
my again, my teaching was my verbal.
Okay, that's your style.
Yeah, that's my style.
Yeah,
My
that's your
teaching
style.
was
Yeah,
my
for sure.
verbal, and that's why we communicate.
Yeah,
And my absence is also the teaching moment.
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
shouldn't
That's
have to
great.
be around for you to continue to learn lessons at my expense of you continuing to disrespect me
Yeah,
or
yeah.
not
Okay.
listen to me. And then because then again, I'm still hurting myself while you're still learning your lessons and still having access to me. That makes no sense.
Yeah,
Who
I
really
don't,
gets
I don't,
hurt?
I don't see the hurt part. So you know what I mean. So
But I'm
it's just
saying,
like,
at me, I'm still the one getting the the less portion. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? If I'm the one verbalizing the stuff that I'm not getting because you're not reciprocating it, you're not listening. I'm still telling you I want, I need from you. Then that means that I'm the one getting the less. So at the end of the day, I'm being without.
for
So
sure.
I might as well just distance myself and close that chapter and save myself the hurt, save myself the less, save myself the have not. And then you can move on and you can learn the lesson of me, my absence, and be like, you know what? She was right. I should have just been on my P's and Q's, or I should have just did this, or I should have just showed up. I should have just stepped up X, Y, and Z. It would have been all good and gravy. But it is what it is.
What's the part two?
What's the part two?
What's the
But
part two?
that was it. I mean, that's just defining the friendship. That's for the friendship part. We were talking about that. But no,
Yeah,
it was about the proximity. You said for you was proximity. Uh, hmm. Ooh,
yeah,
platonic friendships across genders.
yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Uh, now?
Yes, as of now,
Oh, yeah, of
you
course.
becoming married and after you becoming married, when it comes to like platonic friendships, when it comes to even for you or for your wife, when it comes to her with her with having friendships with men and you having friendship with women.
Yeah. Um, I just think that attractive people, uh, if attractive, like you know what I mean. So I always say this, and I'll be telling people, I'll be like, show me one of your ugly friends that you cool with from another sex, and a lot of women don't have them. All their friends are relatively handsome or their type or some variation, something that they like. So at the end of the day, I always feel that there is this animalistic sense to it, to where it's if something, the world or the stars line up, there could be something that pop off. So I honestly, hold on, you asked me a
Okay.
question, let me finish. So I honestly don't feel that platonic relationships there now, before I didn't feel that way, but now I
Mhm.
feel like they can be once you've already found your person and you have parameters and self-control. In your younger days, no, it was always, I've never seen a pretty girl with an ugly dude or ugly friend. I've
I-
never seen that.
and
So
you
at
know
the end of
it,
the day, in every friendship, every female, like, oh, this is his best friend. Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know, and again, I'm different because it's me being in the military, totally different view. Totally different view. And that's what I'm saying. Like it could be totally different. I have a different view. Working in that type of environment, you have male friends.
yeah. That's because y'all both in a war together, or y'all both serving together.
But
That's what.
and that's what I'm saying. Depending on your environment, and I think that's the mindset that I have. And this opens up a bigger conversation.
Yeah.
You're in a different environment, I'm in a different
I'm
environment,
in the
so I have
world.
a different view. Huh?
I'm in the world.
I'm in the world too.
No, no, no. You're in a situation where if you were bopping and bouncing around, you could have potentially gotten in trouble
What are you talking about?
in the Navy. If you was doing too much, say if I was in there and I was slaying dragons left and right, and I created a reputation for myself, wouldn't somebody with a higher rank could have come and checked me and been like, "You doing too much"?
People's doing that anyway, and they would still
I
get away
just,
with it.
I
What are you
understand
talking
that.
about?
What I understand that, but I'm just saying though, could it have gotten to a point where I could have been disciplined?
You could have, but again, people were doing that anyway.
I, it's, Okay,
You would
so
do it anyway.
but I'm just saying, in a
But
free
that's what
world,
I'm
and I'm
saying.
talking about as far as like
At the end
high
of the day,
school, college, stuff like that, where there are no parameters around it.
but I think that goes, but I think we're getting away from the conversation.
No,
We're talking about
platonic.
having friendships. You were talking about where your stance was, and I was saying it was just different environments. Me being in the military, of course I can have friendship with men, ugly and handsome, and it not be, and I can still be attracted to them, and it could still be just platonic. Because me personally, I don't have to want to have sex with you, and I can still keep it respectful and professional.
Were you always in a relationship?
Was I always in a relationship? No, there were times when I wasn't in a relationship. But that's just how I am. And I think it depends on the person. I honestly depend. It depends on the person and where they are mentally. And maybe that's just a man or a woman thing.
I
Because
doubt it.
me
I doubt it.
personally,
I think
I
it's
can
just
be friends with a man that is attractive and be like, yeah, I don't need to want to have sex with you and still be friends with you. It's
I
not
think
that
that
big of a deal.
I think that you're the minority in this
I don't think
conversation.
so. I don't think so.
I
I don't think
truly
so.
think so.
I don't think so. I think there's a lot of women out there, especially a lot of women that could
Think
be
there's a lot of men as well.
friends
Think there's a lot
with.
of men as well. But you have
I
to reach a certain level of
don't,
clarity.
I don't
You
think.
have to
I think if they had a glimmer of an opportunity, they take it.
studies show that women think about sex way more than men.
Thinking about sex is different, but acting on it is another.
So at the end of the day, if you have somebody who you're physically attracted to, you're thinking about it more than another.
It doesn't
And
matter. I said thinking about it and acting on it is different. Women think about it all the time. That's fine. But
so
acting
men are
on
out
it
here
is
raping
totally
women.
different.
So men are out here raping women.
Huh? I
So
didn't
men
say
are
that. I didn't say that. I said, but acting on it, having the opportunity.
take two to
If
tango.
I
Take
said,
two to
but
tango.
having the opportunity, but if the opportunity was presented
Who
to a
presents it?
man, most likely they would take it. That's what I'm saying.
Or who presents it though?
It does. I'm not saying that, but if an opportunity was presented to the man, they would take it.
So let's get back to the answer. Do
Yes.
I feel that men and women can have platonic relationships?
Do
Yes,
you feel?
with boundaries.
Everything has to have the boundaries, of course.
But prior to me getting married and a couple years ago,
Yeah.
probably, I did not believe that. I did not believe in that because there's always some level of attraction. I've seen women handle men who they didn't feel attracted to or didn't find.
Was that
Hold
more
on.
so for your own
No, no, no,
personal?
no, 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 no. This is just wide span. I've seen women let things slide with a man who they found attractive, and I've seen women let stuff not slide with a man that they didn't find attractive. We have to just call a spade a spade. Pretty people or handsome people get away with a lot more stuff in this world. And beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So I used to work in the court system, and I used to watch less attractive people get harsher sentences from a certain judge. And this judge, and it was male and female, and the judge would actually say, "You're a handsome dude. You're a beautiful woman. You shouldn't be in this courtroom." I used to see that all the time. Think about tickets. I didn't got away with so many tickets from female officers. It's just like stuff like that, but it's just you get more leeway, but at the same time, platonic relationships always stem from something else. Because at the end of the day, when we first interact with somebody, say if somebody ugly walked up to you and grabbed your hand and was like, "Excuse me, miss," like you'll be like, "Get your hands off me." But if somebody you found attractive, you might be like, "Get your hands up." But then when you look at them again, you're gonna be like, "What you want?" Like your attitude will change. So we can't act like this is just a this and that type thing. It's not like all even playing field. It's definitely not. It's definitely not. So you are the anomaly. You are a very like certain. You're alien when it comes to this, I guess, because I don't care what nobody say. If your type try to befriend you or says something out of pocket to you, you will give them a lot more leeway rather than if Rasputia walk up to you and be like, "Hey," you gonna be like, "What?" So let's just be honest. Let's not
I
play
am
these
being
games.
honest.
And that's what I say. You're the anomaly.
I'm
You are
not the
special. But we're
anomaly.
not gonna act. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I'm
Because you're
actually not.
Jamie. You are so conditioned that you can stop talking to me. Exactly.
I'm not.
Okay. Okay. Whatever you say though. So, what is your stance on platonic relationships?
I think they can happen, of course. I think it depends on the person. I think it
Okay.
depends, honestly, I think it depends on the actual person and where their mind is at and how they think.
You're speaking to the stage of the person. You're not speaking to the actual person. So you're talking about a stage in their life. So I'm just talking about the pure premise and the base of platonic relationship.
Okay, back to my response. Yes, I do think that you can have platonic friends that are men if you are a woman, depending on you being the person. It depends on you. Me personally,
Mhm.
I just think that it depends on you,
Mhm.
um, your morals, how you are, how you show up. It just depends on you. I mean, if you are a type of person that you can't be friends with a man, you know that. So then don't be friends with a man. I don't think that there is just a one shoe fits all. I don't think that, but I think people know what they can and cannot do. So I think you can, and there's some people who can't, but you know that. So that's just that. Just the same thing goes for with women. I mean, the same thing goes for men. You know if you can be friends with a woman, and you know when you can't. So be real with yourself. If you know you can't be friends with a pretty woman, don't be friends with a pretty woman. It's just that simple. Or keep your boundaries and be real with that. Hey, I know I can't be real with that because I'm trying to bust down. I can't. I gotta keep my distance because I'm gonna try to dig in you. Period. I ain't got nothing but D and bubble gum, and I'm fresh out of bubble gum. So it's just that simple. Okay.
Yeah, I feel it. No, I'm just saying,
That's
that
it.
level of
I just think people just
yeah.
need to be real with themselves. They lie to themselves all the time and think they can be this person and oh, I can do it and I can do it. It's just like be real with yourself. Know your limitations. Know your limitations.
Hmm.
It's just that simple. It's
That's
okay. It's okay
well.
to be basic. It's okay. You don't everybody doesn't have to meet the mark and be a superhero and be that guy or that girl.
Mhm.
You're not. It's okay.
Where's my response? Caught. What was my
Yeah.
response?
Your response was caught. Maybe. I don't know. I think
Why
so.
didn't you check it?
I didn't check it. It just saved and went on to the thing. But
Oh, okay, yeah.
we'll see. We'll see.
We
So
will see. We will see.
we'll see.
Yeah,
But
we
no, I
will
think
see.
I think I think that was really it. That was the last proportion of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy you got to speak your piece. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, I'm always speak my piece, sir.
Yeah, we know. We know. We know. You gonna speak your piece.
Anyway, we appreciate you for tuning in.
Yeah.
Again, please like, share, and comment again on we are on
Subscribe as well.
and subscribe. We are
Yeah.
on, of course, we are on TikTok, we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram. We also have our email. Please reach out. We love the engagement, and we will definitely check in with you guys again soon.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
Bye bye.
She was a fairy. She was a fairy.
It's a fairy. Bye.
What? What? Bye, bro.